Show me your face. Yeah, that's another good one. Show me your face. Fill up this place. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now. Fill up this place. My world needs you Kirk Franklin, boy, you writing your... Oh, hello, everybody. Saw this other Walter Jones show. I have a name somewhere in there. I'm he. It is Midday Connection. Baby. How y'all is? Come on in. Water is fine. And Cortez, good to see you, sir. Dottie and Amber and Betty and Kendrick and Tam, Lloyd and Tommy and Carmen and Ricky and Anita and Demetra and Todd, Lloyd. A whole bunch of these Lloyds say, hey, it's too many Lloyds around. Y'all related to each other? Hey, I want to talk about the Kirk to the Franklin. GP, are you with me? Oh, to the boy. Yeah, praise the Lord, saints. Greetings to you. This YPWW topic looks good. Carmen Davis. Hey, Kirk Franklin's speech seemed to have been censored. And I want to find out, is this true? And if you agree that the Dove Awards censored the brother. Yeah, supervisor. He's reading. Amber Rogers said she wrote about this last. Amber Rogers is on my research department. And so I guess I didn't get the memo or the email or the docket or whatever y'all call it. All right, listen. Kirk Franklin came forth yesterday, day before yesterday, and says, listen, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I want to quit. He says, as he was sitting poised in his chair with a beautiful background, with his muscular chest. And his legs was dangling off. He was just dangling off the seat because Kirk Franklin was about 3 feet tall. He was dangling off the seat. And sorry, Kirk. You know how we do. And he says he's tired because the last time he gave a speech that was socially conscious and it got edited out. And they said, we're sorry, this won't happen again. This year, he wins the Dove again. Now, I need y'all to understand that this whole thing with the Dove to the Dove Awards is white folks, all right? We got our awards, all right? That is, it's called the Stella, all right? We in the stars with Stellas, and they on the, they close to the stars, so they got doves. Doves can only go so high, all right? When doves cry. All right, so it is the same thing. Unfortunately, in America, we have black and white stuff. It's just a shame, but that's the way it is. Black church, white church. Okay, we have black awards, white awards. We had a white dance show called American Bandstand. I know I could play that. All right, I screwed it up. That was white folks. That Dick Clark, the oldest, oldest man. All right, well, he finally died. And then there was a soul. I couldn't play that one now. All right, yeah, soul. So, and then Dick Clark was bringing in some Motown folks over there and letting them sing and play and what have you over there on his show because, want to let the folks know, we are inclusive. And then what did he do? He decided that he wanted to put together a soul dance show. All right. And why did he do that? He did that directly to attack Don to the Cornelius. Love, peace, and soul. Yeah, he tried to shut it down. And that's when we realized white folks don't play fair. They never have played fair. Because how do you think Black Wall Street got burned down? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa wasn't the only Black Wall Street, but that's the one that's more famous because that's the one that they burned down. You understand? That wasn't the only one they burned down, but that's the one that's more popular because black folks didn't need white folks for nothing. We went to our own. See, when I was coming up, when I was your age, little boy, we had our neighborhood had everything we needed. My parents and grandparents went to black doctors, black nurses, black dentists, all right, black lawyers, and black grocery stores, and black this. Okay, that's what black folks were. We were our own unit until segregation happened, desegregation happened, where we began to infiltrate, and then that whole documentary called "Selling to the Negro" on YouTube. Go ahead and you'll see what happens. Okay, and then we began to weaken ourselves, so we can't live black today. We just can't. All right. So white folks has always been playing non-fair. And we always loving them and cherishing them. We always forgiving them, and we always hugging and embracing and telling them, okay, all right, we love you. God uses African Americans to show white folks true love. The whole Amber hug and all that stuff. Black folks got upset with that, not white folks. Don't be hugging her, okay? So we always been showing y'all our love, all right, and affection, and all right. We know you enslaved us for all them years, but okay, stop it, all right? So it makes some of our brothers, makes other brothers and sisters feel weak because I forgave a white man. Right. Why am I going here? I'm trying to talk about Kirk Franklin because I got to go to the history of things. Or so anyway, Kirk Franklin was sitting in that chair. He's about 3 feet tall. I made him shorter, all right? And his feet was dangling, and he was saying, I'm tired. GP, are you with me? I'm tired, okay? You ready for a revolution? It will not be televised. And he says, they dubbed me. The dove dubbed me, okay? And they did not play my speech on the shooting of the young lady in Dallas, Texas. Was it Dallas? It was Texas, okay? And so he says, that's it. He says, so I want y'all to let everybody know, spread this gospel. I'm not coming on the show no more. And then what happened? The Dove Awards sent not a retraction, but they sent a letter to say, hey, listen, the GMAs, all right, y'all know that's the Gospel Music Association, which I am a proud member of, a card-carrying member of the Gospel Music Association. Jackie Patillo, she's the president and executive director. She came forth with a letter. All right, and she said, on the heels of the 50th annual Dove Awards, I want to thank everyone, blah, 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 blah. Our mission is to expose, promote, and celebrate blah to the blah, all right? Then she says, due to our broadcast window, we had to significantly edit the Dove telecast to 2 hours. Understand, 2 hours. In light of this, we understand that many were disappointed because there were so many memorable moments. So specifically, they've said we were made aware of some troubling concerns regarding the edit of Kirk Franklin's appearance. And at the request of Kirk's team, we held our response regarding those concerns until we were able to speak to Kirk ourselves, all right, and to apologize directly to him for the second time and discuss resolutions to rectify this. Wait, I need a violin. Apologize directly and discuss resolutions to rectify this unfortunate situation. We are the Dove Award. We want to say we're sorry. With that said, we would like to publicly acknowledge that we are deeply apologetic for the missteps that happened relating to the editing of Kirk Franklin's Dove Award acceptance. We are the Dove Awards. We want to say we're sorry. Although completely unintentional, we understand it caused great harm and deep wounds. Many of the African American community told us that we are the Dove Awards. We want to say we're sorry. And as well, frick the places. And it left a general perception that we are not concerned with the key social issues that affect people of color. We are the Dove Awards. We like to say we're sorry. Michael W. Smith, is he in the room? Michael W. Smith. And ladies and gentlemen, Michael W. Smith. Amy Grant. Amy Grant come up to the stage. Everybody, Amy Grant. Stephen Curtis Chapman, everybody, come to the stage. Stephen, come. We are the world. Come on. We have to apologize to the Negro. Ain't no. Well, there's usually two Negroes at the show. There's usually two Negroes. Cece Winans, come on up, Cece Winans. Cece Winans and how many other Negroes was it? It's just Cece. Whatever happened to that other guy? You know, the guy that sings real high with the woman that what's his name? He don't come to these awards no more. He stopped recording. Oh, that's a shame. We are the Dove Awards. We like to say we're sorry. Now she says, and it is not our intent to disregard or silence any of our artists, and we are deeply saddened by this perception and are committed to change this. We are the Dove Awards. We like to say we're sorry. Give God the praise. Sorry. Paul Crouch, everybody. Paul Crouch is coming to the stage to pray for the Negroes. Paul Crouch Jr., please come to the stage. Are you here? Paul Crouch. He's not here. He's on Larry Reid show. What is he doing on Larry Reid show? Huh? The Word Network. What's going on over there? Huh? That's the Black Network. Why is he on the Word Network? So then she says, members of the GMA board and executives spoke with Kirk and his team and this past Friday to discuss solutions that we are currently working to implement moving forward. We will be highlighting these initiatives at a future date. Joining our efforts, TBN has made the unedited version available. You can see the unedited version, all right? And you can watch it right here. Y'all want me to play it for you? Sure, I'll play it. Give me a minute here. Nicole C. Mullen will never leave them. She thinks they generally love her. Bro, this guy. I forgot about Nicole C. Mullen. Yeah. She said, stop playing the young and the restless. I'm forgetting somebody. Who else? Who was that? Who's the other black that they always bring in? What's that duet team? The black man and the woman. I Just Seen Jesus. What's his name? What's their name? Yeah. So it's either CC, Kirk, or him. What's his name? Oh, Jesse Dixon. Oh, Jesse Dixon. Yes. Get shall cease from troubling. Ooh, he does that. Weary shall be. He does that, boy. I miss Larnell Harris. Thank you, Tam. Yeah, Larnell Harris. I've just seen Jesus. I don't know. Him and what's her name? Phipps. Thank you, Phipps. I was trying to think of his name too in my little bit. We are the Dove Awards. Phipps, you in the audience? We're sorry. Phipps. That's it. I brought it up. Lionel Harris. Okay, so here is what? Here it is.
I'm born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, and we still live in Fort Worth, Texas. And this past weekend, a young 28-year-old lady, a young girl by the name of Tatiana Jefferson, was shot and killed in her home by a policeman. And I'm just asking that we send up prayers for her family and for his. And I'm asking that we send up prayers for that 8-year-old little boy that saw that tragedy. And we just lift them up, and I ask you to pray with us that we will just pray grace and mercy over their lives in the name of Christ our King. Thank you.
That's the part that got edited. Oh, okay. That's the part that got edited out. Okay. And Kirk says, I can't take it no more. I can't take it. So then they ended the show and they played this.
Many, yeah. The earth is shaking, yeah. Who gon' save the babies, yeah. From another bloody Sunday. I'm singing many, yeah. They love me or they hate me, yeah. For my skin color, yeah. But you say I am your brother. The government keep lying to me, telling me that they're gonna set the people free. But the power falls when you catch us on the knees. Heaven please, we're in a state of emergency. Cause we need a strong God. We need the real God. You know we need a strong God. If you don't see a strong God, let's some now.
And then Kirk began to do the Kirk thing. You need the right hand for that. And you need tight jeans for that. And you need to take your right hand and do something around the tight jean area. Yes, it's gospel. It's gospel. Yeah. So, I can't wait for you to talk about how the Stellars only promote whites that sound black. Yeah, Tam, get out of my notes. We either need to stay separate or actually display the love of God and incorporate everybody, and that goes for both award shows. You all in my notes. Tam, why you in my notes? So why are you even saying that? You didn't say that for me. This show is over. This show is over. All right. So they played his conscious piece at the end in the song. Okay. They knew what the song was going to be. You understand? They knew what the song was going to be. Hello. And they heard the lyrics. They knew what it was all about. Yet they agreed to play it. They did not edit that part out. They edited his speech out towards the end. And they said because the speeches were getting too long, we got to get up out of here. All right. Now, some people asked him why didn't they just edit out the beginning of his speech, where he was giving a lot of kudos to the other artists, black artists, especially in the audience. Why couldn't they just edit that out and leave in the other part? Well, maybe they felt like to leave that part in, and because he did a conscious performance, let him do the conscious performance so that he wouldn't have two conscious segments. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. I can't read their minds. Can you read my mind? I can't read your mind. I don't know. All right. But I will say to you that consciousness in award shows is nothing new. Absolutely nothing. I remember in the 70s when I was a little boy watching the Oscars, and an Indian woman came on the stage in place of a brother who decided he wasn't coming. Well, he wasn't really a brother, but he had that in his mouth and talk. I can't. Matter of fact, I got some video. Let me play it for you.
Have ever known. Marlon Brando. At the 1973 Academy Awards, viewers and attendees were shocked after Marlon Brando was announced as the winner of the Best Actor award for The Godfather. Not because he didn't deserve it, but because a young woman in Native American dress appeared in Marlon Brando's place. And things got weirder from there. As she approached the podium, she refused to accept the statue from presenter Roger Moore, and instead explained that she was Sasheen Littlefeather, president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee, and would be representing Brando. She then said Brando would not accept the award.
The reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry.
Some members of the audience booed, while others applauded. And the incident also reportedly caused the Academy to ban winners from using other people to accept, or in this case, refuse their awards. In a 2016 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Littlefeather, an activist and an actress, described how she was subsequently ostracized by the show business community, saying, "The government was madder than hell. They told everyone in the studios in Hollywood not to hire me, or they would shut them down. I was blacklisted, or you could say red-listed. Johnny Carson, Dick Cavett, they didn't want me on their shows." In recent years, Brando and Littlefeather's actions have been reframed, with Jada Pinkett Smith crediting Littlefeather as an inspiration for her boycott of the 2016 Oscars over a lack of diversity. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay.
Paltrow's 1999.
It started there and it kept going. For years, conscious speeches have been either edited out or booed and frowned upon, what have you. So, that's just the way it is. Now, that's white folk dealing with white folk. But when you're talking about black folks dealing with having something to say on white folk shows, let's see what Roland Martin's guests have to say. I'm just letting everybody else on here say their words, all right? So this is their shows.
I mean, let's just be very real about who we're talking about here. These white evangelicals have historically and to this day preferenced race over what they claim they believe in terms of their religion. If you look even at what they're saying today, even beyond this issue, there's been lots of research that shows that they think that they preference, for example, their support for Trump over any of their Christian values. I mean, when you think about what he has done and what he continues to do in his life, to sit there and praise him and raise him up like this shows you who they are. And, it makes me believe that, for example, switch people. I believe that if Kanye West had been there spouting his ridiculousness, what he had to say would not have been edited at all.
No, not at all.
But because you have an artist who has a black consciousness, who is willing and brave enough to talk about a black experience, that is not something that they want to allow in that lily white space. And so when you look at the history of evangelicalism and how they specifically pushed out black people, this to me is quite in line with who they are. And just like the brilliant Dr. Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
But
Yeah. Out of the mouths. Okay. New Artist of the Year. Rogers, good to see you, sir. Let me read what you guys are saying here. We either need to stay separated or actually display the love. Okay, I think I read that one already. Brentic says, we know. Yeah, I read that. Marty Richardson, it is said that the churches are divided as the world, if not more. So I agree with Gandhi when he said, I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Yes. Yeah, Gandhi. Michelle Thomas says they edited out the end because they didn't hiss kudos or request for prayers to be seen or heard. Michelle Thomas, I'm not understanding that one. Lawrence Jones, my nephew, says because of the song, they should have played the speech part. It reinforces the song, and this is true. Again, I don't know who sat with the clock and says, all right, let's get this out, because I don't know if they edited any other speeches. I don't know. Let's see. Farika, Avis Jones, D. Weaver, your you're being, Robert, you talking about Avis Jones. Gotcha. This is a woman I admire and agree with 100% on this issue. Yeah, she nailed it, Robertson. Nailed it. And this is where I want to go at the end of the show. Tam, which is why I'm baffled how Fred Hammond and others can stand with Kirk, yet support Kanye. Ooh, to the wee, Tam. To the wee, to the wee. Amber says today's evangelical is akin to the Ku Klux Klan of our ancestor time. They hide behind the cross for their security. All the while they support racism, hatred, and the disenfranchisement of entire races of black and brown people, all while riding on the back of their moral horses of oppression. Yes, Amber. Tam says, yes, they said in the article you read that other speeches were edited and are now available. So, again, the unedited are available on their online, what have you. They had the time, just not for what Kirk was talking about, Brentrick says. All right. Yeah, so I agree with my sister here. And we talk about this a lot on our shows. Let me see, did I miss anything that I need to play? Because it is important to see. Hey, Kirk Franklin, bro, I know you watch my shows. I know you watch all my shows. You watch all of them. I know you do, because I see you. I see you watching them. And I see you in the spirit watching them. I want all you African American artists to remember one thing, and one thing only. When you are performing with Caucasians, all right? Whether you know them or whether you don't know them, remember this one thing. If Uncle Sir, if you ain't heard nothing I said, hear me here. Look in the mirror, and you will always be black. Understand? You will always be black. You understand? Michael Jackson turned white. Whether it was Villago or whether it was an amazing facial constructive awareness act, I don't know. No matter what it was, he still was black. You understand? Bill Cosby was still, I don't care how rich you are, how influential and how funny you are, how talented or brilliant or of a genius you are, Bill Cosby was still black. You understand? Steve Harvey, no matter how funny, no matter how cute, how many great suits you have, and no matter how bald your head is, you are still black. You understand? And to some, you will always be a nigger. To others, maybe you're not a nigger. Maybe you're just still my black brother. Because when it comes to you, they will always be able to count how many of you are in their lives. Surely I'm not racist. 3 of my best friends are black. Our church organist is black. My sister-in-law is black. Heck, my wife is black. So I can't be a racist. I just anyway, I did that show already. So you understand what I'm saying? So don't get upset and bent out of shape when a white organization decides to cut out something that might be offensive to the people who they are pandering to the people who they are celebrating, to the people who are pushing up their advertising dollars. All right, because you got to understand, in media, Kirk knows this, in media, it's all about the advertisers. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about the advertisers in media. It's not always about the viewership as much as it is about the advertisers. I was in radio for many years, you understand? And it was about us losing advertisers more so than us losing listeners. And it is a catch-22 thing because the advertisers want to know how many listeners are there. You understand? For them to stay advertising. You get what I'm saying? And so that the listeners can buy what the advertisers are selling. It is catch-22. But the listeners are not paying for this show. The advertisers are. I have to protect my dollar. So if you're going to speak anything conscious on black and unfairness, especially when it comes to white cops, and I got all these white advertisers, you messing up. You messing up. Yeah, the Jay-Z quote. I lost a 20-year biz partner because I'm not white enough for big contracts. You see what I'm saying? You will always be black. I don't care how talented and creative and genius you are, you will always be black. So if you feel like you need to be on the Oscars, you need to get a white award, that says something about you. I'm not talking to Kirk Franklin right now. I'm talking to all you general people out there. Boycott the Oscars. Oscars all white and all that. If you feel like you have arrived only so that you can sit in the front seat of the Oscars or may get nominated at an Oscar. You don't got to get one, just be nominated, and then you have arrived. Something's wrong with your thinking. I don't need the world to celebrate me. As a matter of fact, it would be good that the world not celebrate me, because the way I talk about my love for God and the actions of the world not supposed to love me. This is the problem right here. Why is it that the world is loving me so much if I'm a Christian? Now, I'm not talking about the Dove Awards right now, because the Dove is supposed to be a Christian artist. Unfortunately, these Christian artists are infighting. It is friendly fire among black, white. It is like what Amber said earlier. All right. So outside of the Dove and the Stellas, why is it that I need to be infiltrated and loved by these worldly awards and shows and all these things? All right. Just to feel like I fit in. Not happening. Because Jesus was hated by the world. The apostles and the disciples were hated by the world. And so you supposed to be hated by the world, which means this is why God told you to come together and create your own, produce your own. Don't even marry those people out there. Don't have any dealings with them out there. You got bitter and sweet communion together. He says, don't be equally yoked with them out there. They're going to hate you. They're supposed to hate you, he said, because they hated me first. You understand what I'm saying? So he says, build your own. That's why Black Wall Street was so successful, because we didn't need them people out there for nothing. We had everything we needed in our community. We didn't need them. We didn't need them. All right, so you build your own. So the first century church had all things in common. They bought and sold among themselves. They didn't need the Romans or the Greeks or the Philistines. Okay, they didn't need all of. They did everything they needed within themselves. Even when they were enslaved in Egypt, they lived in a town called Goshen, and God supplied all their needs in Goshen, even though they were enslaved. So what happened, black folks? You want to boycott the Word Network and the TBN now, and it's going to be another white station. Okay, why are you spending that much time trying to convince me to boycott something that I just don't really care for? Why don't we have our own? Huh? I can't understand why we can't have our own. We almost had that. Well, we had that for a little while. It was called the Black Entertainment, BET, which actually was educational, and they did a 10 o'clock news where they had black pundits on there and weathermen and breaking news. I mean, it was beautiful, and it was decent. They was playing some wholesome shows, and then something happened. The flow fell out, and they began to bring in all this garbage and junk and degrading music and lyrics and biatches and hoes and all kind of stuff and scantily dressed videos, and it was horrible. Then they sold it to the white man to further this mentality and put a black woman over it. It's just to make you feel like you have overcome. We got nothing. We got nothing. Yes, Tamla's owned by Viacom. All right. Is that not what Tyler Perry has done? Created his own. William Morris. We got one. Now, it's not just, we're talking about media. Now, as far as media is concerned, I did that show a few days ago. I showed y'all the media empires by black people. And most of you don't know who they are. You never heard of them. One person mentioned Burrell. That was it. That was it. And then Tyler Perry. But you see how long it took Tyler Perry for us to have a Tyler Perry where everybody knew that we got one, Tyler Perry. But if you ask your children after Tyler Perry or before Tyler Perry, who else is out there in the media? They can't tell you. And if they find somebody, I can tell you that the person that they found is owned by whites. The black face is just the face for you black people. Kanye West is loved by Donald Trump and the MAGA people because the way he talked. So like my sister said here on Roland Martin, Kanye West would not have been censored. Okay? And so Kanye is now the voice for that party, and with the hopes that he gather up all of you black folks. Yeah, Brentic, thank you. Brentic says Oprah has her own. All right, her own and her own. Get it? Her own anyway. All right? We got two. Can I get a third? Can I get a third? You see how long it took for them to come forward? To be fair, she has a cleaned up BET image. Brentic? You sure that was being fair? Have you seen BET at night? Huh? Oh, okay. All right. To be fair, she's trying to clean it up. It's not going to be easy. You see, y'all remember, I hate bringing my sister up, but y'all remember our sister, our dear gospel singer, who was on her way to the Ellen DeGeneres show. All right? And Kimberell talked about the homosexuals. Remember that? And then Ellen DeGeneres canceled her. Y'all remember that? Well, somebody else canceled her too. She was getting ready to win another award. What award was that? ASCAP or BMI Achievement something award? And they called her up and says, we can't give you this award right now. And it says, can you wait until things die down? BMI, Brentic. Can you wait till things die down? Let me ask y'all a question. Because that's all this is. What's that saying? The more things change, the more they what? So it says, we can't give you this award now. Come back next time when things calm down with the gays. That's what happened to Kirk Franklin. In the eyes of some, and in the eyes of others, it was fair to cut out his speech because they gave him a time to do his song. But here's the thing. This particular thing, I don't know really what happened. Maybe the dove was fair. Maybe they were. But them being fair this time don't mean they're always fair. Because you got to look at that audience. That was a mega hat audience. Mega hat audience. I've been watching the Doves for 25 years. Well, how old are they? It seemed like they've been on the air for about 25 years. I've been watching it ever since. That is a mega audience. And those actors, those preachers and evangelists that we usually see on the TBN network, all the ones that Roland Martin brought out that we know and love, black and white, but then the white ones I've seen, when you watch their shows, if you look at the demographics, you'll see how a lot of African Americans begin to pull their support away from them because they begin to talk more politics. Let's see. Roland Martin brings their names up. And the names he brought up, let me see.
thing. Pull my program. I'm looking on here, Bishop teacher programs, and I'm looking here. These are featured programs on TBN. I dare say that Beth Moore should say, until you apologize to Kirk Franklin change, pull my program. Joyce Myers, same thing. Pull my program. I'm looking on here, Bishop T.D. Jakes, pull my program. I see something down here called C.C. Winans, Let Them Fall in Love. C.C., pull your program. Charles Stanley, pull your program. We know Franklin Graham ain't gonna pull a damn thing because he don't care about black folks. But I'm saying Dr. Tony Evans of Dallas, pull your program from them. Ed Young out of Houston, we know you ain't gonna do nothing because you had that foul crap you had to say about, of course, Roy Moore supporting him in Alabama. We know you're not gonna say nothing at Second Baptist Church in Houston. Oh yeah, you didn't think I know that, huh? Yeah, let's see who else is on here. Greg Lowry, pull your program. We know Mike Huckabee gonna do a damn thing because he agrees with that crap. But I'm reading some of these folks here who have shows on TBN. John Gray, pull your program from there. Joel Osteen, pull your program from there as well. Kenneth Copeland, all you care about is money, so we know you ain't pulling jack. So you want to keep getting that money. But as I go down here, all these folks, if you are white and you supposedly care about social justice, you should tell TBN and the Double Wars that they are dead wrong. And so I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to stand with Kirk. We're going to keep this pressure on. And what we're going to do is we're going to call each one of these folks.
Okay. He mentioned some white names that I've paid close attention to for many years. I watched their shows and learned a lot about the scriptures and theology, systematic theology and what have you. And then when Donald Trump was running for office, I noticed a turn. I noticed a weird, strange turn. They began to bash Barack Obama. Now, I didn't vote for Barack Obama. Both times I didn't vote for him. But they were bashing him in a way that I had never seen because they prior to Barack Obama's running or becoming president, these people that I watched never mentioned presidents. I need you to hear me really, really close. This is when you know that you're sleeping with the enemy. Okay? This is what I need you to hear me really close. All these white men and women on the TBN network that he just mentioned, most of them, I watched their shows all through the 90s and the 2000s. I lived among white conservatives in South Dakota, all right? And while, let's see, George Bush Sr. was president, I never heard any of them mention politics, never mentioned the president's name. Clinton became president, I didn't hear anything. Bush Sr. became president, and they were excited, yes, because Bush talked about Jesus Christ, and they got really excited about that. But there was no black interference. Do y'all understand what I mean when I say black interference? When George Bush Jr. was running, there was no black interference. So these preachers on TBN really didn't talk much about it. It just says, well, thank God we have George Bush. That's it. And then it wasn't until Barack Obama came on the scene, all these men and women began to talk about politics. Every telecast. Everyone. And they began to talk about the atrocities of Barack Obama and how he was a Hitler. And how he was bringing us into the Stalin era and the Hitler era. You know, and communism and all kind of stuff. It was crazy. And then when Donald Trump jumped in there, then these same men and women began to herald him as God's choice, and they says that we're not voting for a pastor in chief. We're voting for a president. Whatever in chief, all right? And so they put their morals on the side and says, well, yeah, he's a renegade. We know he said things that he shouldn't say, but God chose him. That's when I realized that I was sleeping with the enemy. Yeah. Devil Ward, it's 50 years, huh, Bronya? Wow, 50 years. Okay, what are y'all saying here? Tim Reed and his wife owned a movie production studio way before Tyler. Sure did. That's right. They owned acres of land. No one talks about it. That's right. I remember the Tim Reed documentary. I remember when he had his show on. His show came on before there was all these other shows. I think it was before the Cosby Show, right? Was Tim Reed before Cosby? This last Cosby Show, because Cosby had a show on called the Cosby Show. What was it called? Cosby or the Cosby Show, whatever. Hooker Boy was the opening. Hooker Boy, okay, that was in the 1970s. All right, and but then Tim Reed did something that we had not seen, and he quickly got canceled. We look at Richard Pryor, who brought in men and women who created their careers, who launched their careers. The Mork and Mindy brother, what's his name, who died? Robin Williams. It was Richard Pryor who launched. Robin Williams was actually an extra on the Richard Pryor show. And they only filmed maybe 4 shows because Richard Pryor couldn't get. He had too much coke on his nose. All right, but he launched a lot of careers. What else y'all got to see here? Yes, the BMI. Kim Burrell was removed from the BMI Trailblazers of Gospel Music event, where she was also removed as an honoree. Yeah, you can't talk about the people who they're celebrating. You can't come into their homes and mention something that makes them uncomfortable. You will get canceled, and Kirk was possibly canceled. All right, I'm saying probably. I'm really saying probably because I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But this is commonplace for them. It's commonplace. Oprah has her own, but her dependency is upon white people more than black people. She seems to carry both. William Morris. That's a good question or statement. Don't know. Rod Parsley was big in the black community. And then he started talking conservative. Yep. Brentic, he sure was. Funny thing is Bush started pushing faith-based initiatives around the same time. I'm trying to tell y'all. Joy Harris says, I noticed that as well. Obama and Trump era have revealed some true colors of some evangelicals. Yes. She said, hurt my feelings. Yeah. Vicky Yohe stopped me from commenting on her post because she started dogging out Barack Obama and I wasn't having it. Yep. That's it. And again, I didn't vote for Barack Obama whatsoever. But when you saw your white gospel artists start going against him and not going against anyone else, even if they were Republicans, all right, it's okay, because you black people are Democrats, all right. So it doesn't matter what your party is. But when you start bashing a person, not because of their party, but because of their color, and it is obvious. Because what Vicky Yohe was doing was obvious racism. Obvious racism. And her and many of them were too, because they went directly to the color, and even talking about Michelle Obama and alluding to monkey and it was just some horrible stuff. The 700 Club with Robertson was brutal in their attack on Obama, outright calling him the Antichrist. Amber Rogers, exactly. And giving Donald Trump a green light to go ahead and be as nasty. And Donald Trump lies every single day. Every single day he lies. And he's such a sociopath that he don't know really how to treat people who disagree with him. If they disagree with him, he treats them like dirt. Calls them these names. We've never seen this in American history, and the white evangelicals love it. They love it. What's his name? I think one of the great teachers that I know. What's the one who was speaking in tongues and he was reading his cell phone and it went viral? Not Rod Parsley. What's his name? What is his name? Perry. I think it's Perry Stone. Perry Stone. I learned from him for many years. He's still a great teacher, And then he started sending emails about Donald Trump and the horrible Barack Obama. And I says, wow. I ain't even vote for the man. But it is obvious why you're talking about Barack Obama. And so this type of hidden, this if you're not close enough, if you're not open enough, y'all keep using the word woke, y'all are not woke enough to see that these people who you sleep with, and when I say sleep, I don't mean literally, I mean y'all hang with them, you worship with them, you go to work with them, all right, you record with them, all kind of things with them. And man, a lot of that is implicit bias. A lot of that is the type of racism that you don't see. You don't see, and a lot of times they joke. They'll do a joke here and do a joke there, but they really mean that. They really mean it. There's a lot of truth to it. Any thoughts on Janet Partial? Oh, Joy Harris, she says, if I'm familiar, I'm extremely familiar with Janet Partial. Janet Partial comes on. I think it's called Midday Connection, maybe. I think what. I know I call my show that, but I think she comes on about 12 o'clock. She comes on for about 2 hours. Joy Harris, and she's extremely conservative. And unfortunately, I had to turn her off. I felt betrayed, Joy. I felt betrayed listening to her because all that wonderful knowledge and consciousness on political, I love political science. I love history. I love the history of our country. I don't love it. I enjoy studying it. I don't like the history of it. I enjoy studying it. I told you I went to the African American Museum in Detroit a couple of days ago and really had a great time in there. And I bought a couple books that I thought would further my knowledge on the African American experience. And there's two things that I bought. Oh, she comes on from 4 to 6. Okay, did she move her time? Because I thought she came on at 12 and 2. I thought she must have moved her time. But I bought two books, one book and one pamphlet here. This is the Declaration of Independence. All right, for a reason. The Black Panther Party, as liberal and as I don't know, the whites thought they were very destructive men. But if you notice, you don't really see, you can't really find where the Black Panther Party was going into white neighborhoods and shooting up white folks. Okay, they were militant with their mouths, but they wasn't attacking white folks. They just wasn't doing it. There is no such thing as a black on white crime. Yeah. So yeah. She has been on 4 to 6 for years. I have been listening. Okay, Joy Harris. Who was that to come on from 12 to 2? Somebody else comes on. Another woman. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, Janet. She anyway. So they would study. The Black Panther would study the Declaration of the Constitution, and they knew how close and far to stand with police, and they carried rifles, what have you. And they could not do what a white man could do. They couldn't do it. Why? Because they was the wrong color. All right. And so I bought this so that I can have a quick look at the Declaration of Independence and the writers of it. I mean, the history in here is amazing. And these white writers who penned this were deists. They were not Christian. They made sure that Christianity was not implemented in the Constitution. It is an anti-Christ document. You need to know that. Understand? So it's all about deism. And many of these men were part of secret societies and Skull and Bones, and it would be the Illuminati of that day. All right, and some of the sad things and histories of these men. Y'all go to some of my shows, and then I picked up this beautiful book called The Original Black Elite, Daniel Murray and the Story of the Forgotten Era. All right, these are these black folks right here. All right, this was the era of my grandfather and grandmother. Look how thick that book is. This is by Elizabeth Dowling Taylor. It's a bestseller, New York Times bestseller. And I thumbed through this book and my mouth just started watering, because this is the history that your children know nothing about. This is when we woke up that morning and all day long we were among ourselves, and we went to bed at night among ourselves. We didn't need them for anything. We didn't, all right? And so these books I like to purchase and read, because that talks about our history there. So when you stay woke, you will understand where you come from, and where you are right now is an indictment. It is a slap in the face to these men and women in this book, and the Martin Luther Kings and all those men and women who marched, Selma, who got water-holed and shot and hung and all these things. If they wake up today and see what we have done to ourselves, it's a shame. The first gun control laws were passed because of the Black Panther Party. Yep, it sure was, Brenty. It sure was. So there you have it. So y'all can enjoy yourselves with these white shows all you want to, and let them celebrate you. You know, I'm not anti-white, nor am I extremely pro-black. I'm about being well-rounded, and we live in an unrounded territory called America, where you just don't know who's going to smile in your face and stick a knife in your back when you're doing about face. You don't know who it is, so you trust no one. You trust no one. I trust no one, because I don't even trust myself. So I trust no one. If I can't trust myself, I don't trust nobody, because I've been stabbed too many times. Literally stabbed, as you can see here, and I've been stabbed. Church hurt, especially we call it church hurt, but I've had work hurt, bank hurt, judge at the court hurt, police hurt. I had all kind of hurt. It's not just church hurt. I just been hurt, hurt. But I bounced back, and I'm still a very happy man. I'm extremely joyful. All right, so y'all come to a conclusion on what's happening with the Kirk Franklin, but I'm not joining no boycotting. Not me. I'm not joining no boycott. I'm not joining no turn this off and turn that on. I don't even watch TBN anyway. I don't even watch the Word Network anyway, so I'm not going to be missing anything. As a matter of fact, I called the cable company the other day and says, all right, I need you to shut this mess off. Because why am I paying money for all these stations when I watch NBC, MSNBC, CNN, every now and then I watch Fox. Fox is like a drug, so I don't take drugs, so I turn on Fox and CNBC and maybe Fox Business, the Bloomberg report, and maybe the nightly business report on PBS. That's about it, and I shouldn't have to pay for those. I mean, that comes with the antenna. That's an over-the-air thing. I just buy an antenna and get some of those. I know the CNNs, what have you, may have to pay for it. All right, so yeah, that's just me. But they sure were calling him the Antichrist. Yeah. That's the stupidity when you hate a man so much that you begin to call him Antichrist, which means you don't even know what the Antichrist is all about. And every president that we've hated have been called the Antichrist. Everyone America hated, he's the Antichrist. Well, I don't mean to break the bad news, be the bearer of bad news, but the Antichrist will not come from America. No. America is too small for the Antichrist. Too small. All right? America is the third largest nation in the world. Our economy is not the first. All right? We were a superpower. We're not the superpower anymore. No, we're not. All right? Because we're so divided, that will be the death of us. And this is why the United States is not in Bible prophecy. Go all through the scriptures and you will discover that we ain't in there. It was never intended for us to be there, because the center of God's attention is the Middle East. Now, is it those people who over there who call that land Israel? I cannot tell you that, because those people are Zionists. I don't know who they are. I have no idea. I remember when the Black Panthers and the original disciples walked the neighborhoods and we didn't need the police. That's true. I remember that in the early 70s. They would just walk the streets with that cap on, okay, and the boots. I remember it in the Austin area here in Chicago, in the Humboldt Park area where I lived. Yeah, no problem. Not anymore. Yeah, you got to study history in your Bible. We are living in Babylon. Farika. I'm getting these names all mixed up. Yeah. America is not in the Bible. It is not a part of Bible history or eschatology. It is not. And if you can find it, I need you to point it here, and then I will debunk it. It's not there. And there's a reason why it's not there. And these televangelists have tried to find it in the scriptures by using some of the weak scriptures and go in the Old Testament and talk about the land of the Tarshish and the lands of the West and things like that. But those lands had already existed at that time. All right, you just can't. And when you look at this is too much. I'd have to go on the whiteboard and to prove my point. And so sometimes we try to read eschatology and try to understand it through the King James Version, which can trick you up. Because sometimes what the translators did, that they took what they thought was a land or a territory or a name or what have you, and they named it what they thought it was at that time of 1611, and it wound up being a mistranslation. Can't find it. That was the day of the real gangs who actually operated with integrity, Demetri Pitts, and if they called what you call it when they said. They called for peace. There was peace throughout the whole territory, throughout all of Chicago. What do they call that? Truce? When they called a truce, there was a truce. And there was one guy at the helm, and he had his cabinet, whether it was Viceroy's disciples, the Peace Stone Rangers, and the Puerto Ricans and all, what have you, okay? They called a truce. Everybody stopped. That's the way it was. The old gangs, the old heads, they began to die, and the government began to take them out, put them in jail or kill them. I mean, that's how you think the Black Panthers got disbanded. All right, this was a governmental setup. All right, they shut them up. All right, and then what happened? The old heads got put away to prison, and then their seed began to come up, and then they went away, and now the new seed have no leaders. There are no leaders. So the killing that we see on the streets are killing because of turf wars, or you looked at my girlfriend's breast and you dead. That's the way it is right now. Yeah, Pitts, the government killed them. The government took them all out. So they have no leader. So Donald Trump was here yesterday talking about how horrible Chicago is. And he totally dissed us. Totally. And he did more damage than any good, because then he was speaking to his audience, and the other 49 states heard what he said and says, that's true, that must be true, and ain't nobody Googling. Tobias Green says, players out. How you gonna direct my show? I was getting ready to leave. Tobias tried to tell me to shut up. I'm trying to educate folks. Khalib Tafari bin Yehuda. All right, go ahead, put them names there. That's good stuff. All right, I gotta go because Tobias gotta go. He said, "Play us out." All right. Any questions? Any concerns? I think I've said all I can. Y'all pray for Kirk Franklin and his whatever his vision is. I pray that it is a vision of peace, and that he not get so caught up in he don't get so caught up in these awards and what have you. Don't get caught up in that stuff. We got another fight. Let's stick to fighting the gospel to get preached into the streets. All right. I know you've been tired, for Tobias, and it seems like it's been going on for years. Oh, don't you ever let go. That's for T to the bias and C to the little. That's Cortez, y'all. All right, y'all, I got to go. I think Amber said something here. We will not be found, America, because we are a non-factor. Our subsequent implosion will see to that. It is only our self-centeredness as a nation that makes us think we are the nucleus, Amber Rogers, and that is true. In the end time, you will not see you as a nation. No. Something will happen to America, and we will join forces, or we will be infiltrated, or we will be attacked or destroyed, or something will happen. This is why you just don't see us. You just don't see us. But don't you worry about any of that, because those of y'all who are in the Lord, you will escape, and your ladder will be greater than your right now. I see you in the future, and you look better than you do right now. All right, Jesus getting us ready for that great day. Woo, yeah, come on, Philip Riddle. I think I saw you earlier in the show. Well, you said something earlier. I was just talking, and Tobias told me to shut up. Jesus getting us ready for that. Jesus getting us ready for he's coming back, Cortez. Y'all, I keep telling y'all, don't put up no songs, because I will play it. The Lord has given me that gift. I'll do it. Hey, Alexa, say good night to Cortez and Tobias. And
good night. Sleep tight.
She talking to y'all, all right? Y'all want her phone number? 588-2300. Hey, YouTube, how y'all is? Hit the share button, will you please? And subscribe. The bell is over there somewhere. Go bing! There it is. You get all my notifications. And Facebook, go ahead, share it. There's about 22 y'all left. Hit the share button and let the world know. GP, are you with me? I'll be on the, I told y'all I'll be on whose show tomorrow? Annette Harris show, the Mind, Body, and Soul. Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette at 12 o'clock tomorrow at Central Time. And then Elder Rodney Jones, look for YouTube. Elder Rodney Jones Sunday School, and I will be on his show tomorrow on the YouTube. All right, Sunday School. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Bye, y'all.